And why did you even start?
Well, I have 5 sisters, 3 daughters, 2 granddaughters, and 14 nieces. I just had to know what the difference was.
What is going on over there on their team? So what were the differences you noticed that were the most provocative?
Well, it was striking. And the thing that surprised me is that size really doesn't matter, that male brains are 8 to 10% bigger. But the female brain, in 85% of the brain, is more active. And that increased activity helped explain so much of my life. And so, when I first met my wife, you've met my wife, Tana,
Yes.
After 2 weeks, I decided I really liked her. So I asked her if I could scan her brain. It was the most important part of her I wanted to see.
What a buzzkill.
It was stunning. And she's a neurosurgical ICU nurse, and so she totally loved my work and was interested in it. In fact, the rule in my house, I have 3 daughters, is if you date one of them for more than 4 months, you have to get scanned. And do you remember Meet the Parents? This is like Meet the Parents, but worse.
That's right.
And so both of my son-in-laws got scanned at 4 months, and I'm like, this could be healthier. And because I want them to get the message of our family, which is all about brain health.
All right, so I've got an example of some of these scans. So I'm going to put a male brain up there and a female brain up there. I would love you to walk us through this. But if you notice from these 2 images, folks, that the female brain's got a lot more activity in a lot more places.
So blue equals average activity. Red is the top 15%. And what we found, the back parts, so it's at the bottom, really active. That's normal. But the female brain, especially in the front part of the brain, is dramatically more active.
You can see a lot more red on the female brain. Red's good. Red means there's blood going there and there's some activity there. And with the brain, what's going on with the male brain over here? There's not much happening.
It's a little sleepier.
Yes.
But in our study, so with 46,000 scans comparing males and females, females were just radically more active in many very important parts of the brain.
Now, if I can just speak about these brain scans, they are controversial. They can be used for many potential purposes. And you've been told by your colleagues, I believe, that, in fact, you've told your colleagues, before we get to that, you've told your colleagues that not ordering these brain scans in a patient is malpractice, if you're prescribing.
Especially in complicated cases. I always say, how do you know what's going on in a patient's brain? Unless you look. So I'm a psychiatrist, but psychiatrists are the only medical doctors that never look at the organ that they treat. And because of it, they can hurt people. So the scans, we've done nearly 80,000, really help us target treatment to your specific brain. Now, we don't use them all by themselves. Of course, we talk to people. But when we have the images, it makes a dramatic difference. And our success rates, we have a new scientific paper coming out next month, are much higher than most of our colleagues because we have more information.
Success in treating people who've got issues. All right, so now let me go back to what your colleagues are telling you. The American Psychiatric Association does not recognize these brain scans as a diagnostic tool and actually has criticized you for doing these scans. So how do you react to that?
Well, you know, it's funny. Some people think I should win a Nobel Prize. Other people think I should be arrested. So it sort of keeps me balanced. But the fact is...
We should scan your brain. You've scanned your brain.
11 times. But the fact is, we still make diagnoses like they did in 1840 when Lincoln was depressed. We talk to people, look at them, and then give them powerful medications. And I'm like, come on, we can do better, because how do you know if the brain is toxic or traumatic, if it works too hard or not hard enough? And this helps us target treatment to their brain.
Now, what's the most remarkable thing you've noticed doing these scans in all these women?
Well, what really excites me, having 5 sisters and 3 daughters, is how powerful their brain really is. That the activity that is better in females than in males as a whole really makes them great leaders. And I think as a society, we don't know that. You and I did the Daniel Plan together. And who signed up for it? Women. And when women got the message of health, they changed not only themselves, they changed their families. So women are leaders, and they're wired to be leaders.
Okay, so when we come back, find out the 5 strengths that make your brain so much more powerful than the minds of men.
Next, 5 strengths in female brains, like intuition.
A lot of folks argue that it doesn't exist. You say it is very real and is a very important strength.
Plus,
The most human, thoughtful part of the brain.
why it's much more active for women. And later,
You see how strong it is. Where are the weaknesses?
solutions for your biggest vulnerabilities coming up.
Closed caption sponsorship